Why, howdy do, fellow Roonies. I just saw this film called Deathgasm, and it's directed by someone named Jason Lei Howden. Deathgasm is a New Zealand comedy horror film about a kid named Brody, and Brody is a high school dude. Brody goes to high school with two other friends, I forget their names, and he's kind of an outcast. He gets bullied by his older stepbrother, I believe he is. I forgot to mention that he just moved into this town because I believe something happened to his mom or something. He moved into the town, and he is now living with his super religious uncle who thinks that, Dobie, what's his name? Brody, who thinks that Brody has committed all these sins. Because Brody's a big metalhead, and he listens to a lot of heavy metal music, and he eventually makes friends with this other guy named Zach, who is also a big metalhead. So Brody, Zach, and his two other friends form this metal band, and they call themselves Deathgasm because it's the most metal name ever. And then a bunch of stuff happens where they play a song and they accidentally unleash this evil, and they summon this evil, you get the idea. You just kind of gotta see it for yourself. But yeah, this movie, it's pretty awesome. I have heard of this movie before, and I've been wanting to see it because it's been getting really good reviews, and I finally saw it, and yeah, I think it's pretty awesome, honestly. This movie's pretty batshit crazy. It's crazy. There's a lot of stuff going on, very fast editing, very fast-paced film. There's just a lot of stuff going on, and it's all just in your face and awesome. And of course, it's very bloody, very graphic, which is awesome, and you know, they kill off all these possessed people in the town, and it's a lot of fun. But the thing is with Deathgasm is that it's not for everyone. It's definitely aimed for a very specific audience, and that audience, of course, is people who love heavy metal music. If you're not a fan of heavy metal music, if you're not aware of that kind of stuff, chances are you're probably not gonna like this movie. Well, actually, I take that back. You might actually enjoy this movie whether you love the genre or not, because I can definitely picture somebody not liking heavy metal music but still liking this movie, so I don't know. It's honestly, it's just up to you. If the movie sounds good, then yeah, check it out. But that's what I really liked about this movie, is that it's not just a movie about this metalhead and this guy who's into heavy metal. Like, they actually reference a lot of really cool, you know, heavy metal bands and stuff. And personally, I am kind of a big fan of metal music. I really like the genre. I listen to it quite a lot. And there are a lot of band references, which was cool. They mentioned a lot of bands such as Cannibal Corpse, Amon Amarth, and one of my personal favorites, Cattle Decapitation, which, if you are a fan of metal, I do highly recommend checking out their latest album, the Anthropocene Extinction, something like that. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, I noticed a lot of that they actually referenced a lot of bands, and you can definitely tell that Brody is very passionate with heavy metal music, and they did that very well, along with the other characters in the film, like Zach and his two other friends, who are also into heavy metal music. But yeah, pretty much what this movie does is it blends horror films and blood and gore with heavy metal music, and you just combine all that together, and it's Deathgasm, pretty much. I really enjoyed this movie, and I had a lot of fun with it. Like I said, it's very fast-paced. There was not a single dull moment in this film, and I had a lot of fun with it. I honestly don't have too many complaints with it. I think it was a pretty awesome, fun movie. Not to mention, it was kind of funny, too. There were a lot of very humorous moments, and they were pretty funny. I actually laughed out loud quite a lot throughout this film, so yeah, that's a big thumbs up for that. So yeah, guys, Deathgasm pretty much has everything you would ever want in a heavy metal horror film. You got heavy metal, you got blood and gore and possessed people and demons, you'll laugh, you'll cry. It's a perfect movie for everybody, and it's a wonderful film to watch with your family. Actually, I take that back. This movie's pretty brutal in terms of everything, pretty much. The violence in here is very over the top, which I absolutely love, because the film doesn't take itself too seriously, which I like, and it kind of gives you the feel of kind of like Peter Jackson's Dead Alive, if that makes any sense. It's of that sort, where it's kind of a horror comedy in a way, but then it's also very gory and in your face, which is awesome. And I gotta say, the ending to this movie is pretty entertaining. I really like the ending. That was pretty awesome, pretty funny. Like I said, it's just, this movie's a blast. I really don't know what else to say about it. But again, I can see why people wouldn't like this movie, and it's definitely, I don't think, not for everyone. And yeah, so just, if it sounds interesting enough to you, like I said, definitely check it out. You'll probably like it. But if this movie does not sound like it's up your alley, then chances are you're probably not gonna like it. But as for me personally and other people who enjoy this kind of stuff with, you know, heavy metal and horror films, then you're probably gonna love the hell out of this movie, because I sure did. And overall, I'm probably gonna give Deathgasm a 4 out of 5. It is a bloody good time, probably one of the best horror films I saw last year, maybe. It's definitely up there. It's very, very good. I noticed this was on a lot of other people's top 10 best horror films list of 2015. So yeah, it's definitely one of the best of last year. And yeah, guys, it's a bloody good time, and I would highly recommend Deathgasm. So yeah, check it out. And that is it. That is it for my review of Deathgasm. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am Jacob Palacio, and I will see you guys later. Wait, come here. Okay.